Someone once told me the grass is much greener.
We have a lot of cool stuff planned for season 3.
Being proud of who you are no matter what you do.
You definitely see the characters progress a lot more. They start growing up.
And I think Ginger and Darren are endgame.
It is a masterpiece of an episode.
Oh, it's the cattiest moment in the history of television.
Trust me, everybody has been excited for our thoughts on it. Who's the girl in the pink capri?
It's Courtney! It's Courtney!
Someone once told me the grass is much greener on the other side.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to We're in Between, the podcast that discusses As Told by Ginger once a week, every week. But, of course, we always have some special interviews in the mix as well. Also, hi, everyone, it's Ashley. I haven't been on in a while. Life's been crazy and busy, but I am here for this one, and we are interviewing the voice of Courtney Grippling. It's Liz Georges. We have her with us, and it's really exciting. Thanks so much for being here, Liz.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
So, right before we discuss about your role as Courtney, so I always ask this to everybody that we've had on the show who's voiced various characters. So I'd like to know, where did you get your influences for acting?
Where did I get my influences for acting? You know, I can't really think of like an actual influence that I had, except that, you know how they all start out in the school plays and everything, and of course I did that, and I was bitten by the bug early on. But my very first professional job was in Jack Benny Junior High School. Here I went in Waukegan, Illinois.
Oh, hey. Sorry, super close to me.
And I was hired to do a thing for the fire department or something about a girl who called them up to report a fire but didn't tell them where to go. And so it was like my very first voiceover job. So my very first paying gig, and I got to get out of school and they paid me $15.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so
Awesome.
That's kind of how I got started. And then, you know, just doing school plays, and then, I don't know, doing plays in college, and then stuff like that. And then later beginning my career moving to Minneapolis, because there were a whole lot of equity theaters there. So I figured that was a good place to start. And it was, and there was also all kinds of other stuff to do there too. So anyway, and then I moved to Chicago, and then I moved to LA, but I don't know who influenced me, like who. I don't think I have a who. Nobody in my family knew anything about acting. We didn't really watch much TV growing up. It was, you know, we still had a black and white TV set even when I went to college. So we were way behind everybody else. I really liked the Three Stooges. My mom wouldn't let me watch them. Well, she would let me watch them, you know, just a little bit, and, you know, that's all. And I liked Mickey Mouse.
Nice. Those are fantastic. Absolutely. How about you? So Ashley, what's your question?
All right. I guess my first question is kind of just a general one here. Is what, if anything, of Courtney Grippling do you see in yourself, like that sort of pulled you in while you were, you know, playing her?
You know, just because I knew I was doing this podcast, I went back and I looked at some of the episodes, and I couldn't believe how awful Courtney is. She's terrible. But it's interesting because when I was playing her, I didn't feel awful. I guess I didn't, you know, I was not going to judge my character. But I will say that she has a certain self-centeredness, which, you know, I mean, I think everybody can get into that. Like, and I think I just went into that more as Courtney. The kind of thing where maybe everyone knows who she is, but perhaps she doesn't know everybody else in school, kind of thing.
Sure.
So maybe that's where I might connect with her a little bit, but really, oh my goodness, girl, she has much to learn, and I believe she will, because I think she has a good heart.
Well, she definitely did learn a lot throughout the series. Like, throughout the early seasons, Courtney was so fascinated with Ginger, wanting to learn about what middle class life is. And there have been various episodes in which she has, and later on in the series, like more specifically season 3, for a lot of fans, and I'm not gonna say too much because Ashley hasn't seen the series as a whole, but a lot of people felt that Courtney wasn't treated very well, and that she was kind of wronged in a lot of ways, especially in the series finale, which something big happens, which I'm not gonna say what it is.
Oh yeah, that's pretty. What can I can't talk about.
No, you can't. I'm sorry. Ashley hasn't seen it.
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate thing that happens, and it's not Courtney's fault.
No, it wasn't. It was just unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah, and I also think too, as the series went on and Ginger kind of moved on with her concerns, I think Courtney was a little bit more. She was more on the margins.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So my question regarding about Courtney was, when you did the audition, were you called to do any other characters besides Courtney?
Actually, I think the first thing that I auditioned for, I think the first character was Dodie. Or Pody, as I like to say. First it was Pody. And then I auditioned for Pody and Dodie and Courtney. And then pretty soon I just auditioned for Courtney. So I think they kind of figured out early on that, which direction this was going. So, but that's the only one. We used to have fun. I think during the sessions we used to have fun. Like if somebody wasn't there, which was not that often, because mostly, we were there recording together. There would be like a scene, and there would be like, just those people in the scene that were in the room recording. But if somebody couldn't make it, then we would all do each other's voices, and I think that was kind of fun too. We got to talk like this, which is my favorite thing to do.
Oh my God, that's great.
I'm trying to talk like Ginger.
That's actually pretty decent. It's not bad.
Fake it. And today he was like, I was so excited about everything. I don't know. Oh God, my voice. Anyway, so hi, where were we?
No, this is stuff that we love to hear, behind the scenes stories, because pretty much every single person that we've talked to on the podcast, they've always talked about how they would impersonate everybody, especially Jackie. They always impersonated Jackie.
Right. Jackie. And then there's Miranda. Oh boy, she's mean.
Oh yeah, she's, in my opinion, worse than Courtney. She does not have a very nice heart there, for the most part.
But she had a rough home life.
That's fair.
It's interesting though, I was thinking, well, her, the one person that had really involved parents, at least, in this show, it was Ginger. Because I'm thinking like, well, Macy's parents were kind of strange, and Dodie's parents, well, Dodie's mom was around, but she was, I don't know.
A little high-strung, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. We all had these very distant parents, and the same thing with Miranda. So, I don't know. Yeah, so you're right. I think that that Courtney did get fascinated. I don't know if it was so much with the middle class thing, although that was a novelty, I'm sure.
Sure.
But I think with the genuineness, of the three the three girls with the main girls with the friendship and all, and particularly with Ginger, I don't know, she just dismisses the other two, usually, but anyway. Next question. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
It's okay. No worries. You're next, Ashley.
Sure. And this is another one that I've asked a couple of people. What's your favorite episode, either for your recording reasons or just your favorite episode of the show that you remember?
Well, those would probably be different episodes, because I think probably everybody says this, but Hello Stranger was my favorite episode. I mean, it's a cartoon that you can watch, and at the end you're crying.
Yep.
At least I
Yeah.
But I also kind of felt that way about the little Seal Girl song, when she's, what's the name of that one?
Come Back Little Seal Girl.
Come Back Little Seal Girl. Okay. So I was that, but in terms of for me and for acting purposes, I think that it was fun, like when when I got to, get my comeuppance or whatever. And I think that No Hope for Courtney one.
Oh, yes.
Really pushed all my buttons. And so that was kind of a fun one for me to do. But then there were other things. I loved the Slumber Party one.
That was a good one, actually. That was a really good one.
I don't know the names of all these episodes.
The Slumber Party one was called Sleep on It.
Sleep on It. And I loved my room.
Oh, Courtney has a great room with the faux fur and the talking mirror.
Bed. Exactly, in the talking mirror.
Yeah, I would be down to have that room right now, no lies.
So probably for recording, like I say, it was probably two different things. But I always like that one, the Lice one too, of Lice and Friends. I know that one because that's another one where kind of you get your comeuppance. But then Ginger was sweet to me, and I don't know. That's kind of what I think. But I would say of all of them that Hello Stranger is just, oh God. And especially when at the very end, when she thanks her mom.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to give anything away if you haven't. Yeah.
No, I've seen that one, yeah.
Yeah, where she thanks her mom for the flowers. So anyway.
Yeah, it was just absolutely brilliant. So another question that I ask was, that I sometimes ask for various people when it comes to the podcast, like, not only like fond memories of the show, but do you recall of anything happening like when you were voicing Courtney? Would you do like any ad libs or add any of your personality to the character as the series went on?
I think as things went on, we all I'm sure we all just knew our characters better and better. And so it's sort of like whatever we did worked. Whereas when you're first starting out, you sort of, you have these parameters of what you think your character is supposed to be, and you try really hard to just stick within it. Like, from everything from like the range of your voice and to, you know what I'm saying? You try really hard to stick there. But then later, as you become more and more comfortable and you just sort of inhabit this person in front of the microphone, then you just do whatever you do and it kind of comes out okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of, pretty much everybody from Aspen, Jackie, and Melissa pretty much said the same thing, that as the series went on, they grew really accustomed to their characters, that even a little bit of their personalities was in them as probably like around the last season.
Right, or else, you walked out of there with a little bit of Courtney still on you. I mean, that's how I felt. Gotta shake that one off.
All right. Ashley, do you have any other questions?
If you don't have a specific one, that's fine. But if you do, then just favorite behind-the-scenes moment, or it can be a more general favorite behind-the-scenes thing that you went through.
Favorite behind-the-scenes moment? Well, I don't know if this is like a favorite, but one of the things I always enjoyed, that Cree, who plays
Miranda,
she got a dog. I think his name was Rufus.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a little chihuahua. So she would bring him in with her into the studio. And that's all I could. It was fun. It was fun to have a little dog there.
Sure.
I'm trying to think what else. Things happen. So many things happened when we were all sort of in. Well, I'm trying to think. I can't think of any really. I mean, there was always stuff going on. People were always telling jokes.
Yeah, absolutely. I can give you a few examples if you want. Like, there was Eric Casimiro told us this story about there was a birthday party and some guy came in with stilts singing the Little Seal Girl song.
Oh my God! I don't know if I was there.
Oh,
I must have missed that.
Well, that's too. Oh, well, there's another story like. Let's see, this is one that we just learned recently because we had Mark Risley, the director of various episodes. So when he was in the hospital and his dad was being taken care of, a nurse came in and she was approaching Mark saying, "Mr. Risley, I have to tell you that your episode of As Told by Ginger meant a lot to me."
Oh, Oh my goodness, isn't that great?
Yeah, I know. And his dad is in the other room, and he's sick. And there goes this nurse saying, like, that episode meant a lot to me. Hello, stranger, touched me and my daughter. I'm a single mom. So, have you ever had any of that kind of experience? Like somebody approached you and say, like, oh, Courtney meant a lot to me or something.
I don't think most people would recognize me as being that character. So, unless they knew. I have had people tell me that this show meant a lot to them, and I was like, oh, that's nice, And I have to be honest with you, I kind of didn't realize what we had there when we were doing it.
Everybody said that. Everybody has said that, especially Ken.
I'm just telling you that I looked back over. I mostly looked at the first season. I was looking at episodes in the first season, and I realized that there was so much there, and all about that. And I have two daughters, so I've watched two of them go through junior high school or through middle school, and high school, and kids go through a lot, and these girls certainly do, on As Told by Ginger, and so every once in a while you do get somebody who tells you like what a complete fan they are of the series, and and it's always like, wow, that's so great. I mean, the fact that you guys are doing a podcast about this show, I think that's wonderful. And I just, I wish we could do it again. I wish we were still doing this show. I would still like to do it. There's so much more to explore, especially as they grow up,
Yeah, well, we'll definitely, there's a lot of questions regarding that, so we'll definitely get to that. My final question for you, and then we can read our listener questions, unless you had any other questions, Ashley?
No, I'm good to move on to the listeners.
Okay, my final question is, who are your favorite characters besides Courtney?
Oh, now you're going to get me in all kinds of trouble. Gosh. Well, first of all, I love Lorraine Newman's Lois. I love Lois.
Yeah, Lois is fantastic.
Also,
you have to, really. She's great.
I mean, I don't really know who I don't like. I think every character's... I mean, I like Brandon and his little monkey. I like, my brother. Oh, God.
Blake.
Such a twit. And that's Kat Susie. She's fabulous. Tress MacNeille as Hudson. I mean, they're just really great characters. And Jeannie Elias, she's just great.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic.
We have such good people working on this show. It's hard to pick, but I don't know.
All right, well that's fair. I mean, it's really hard to choose. All right, now we can get over to our listener questions, and man, we have a lot of them. A lot of people were so excited when we told them that you were going to be on the show. So let's start off with the spoiler-free questions. We have a question from Hoodsy Bishop fan, and okay, this is I mean, if you would like to do this, that's perfectly fine. So, can you please sing the Courtney theme song? This will be a lot of fun, actually. How about if Ashley and we sing the part of the lyrics, and then you sing, it's Courtney, as Courtney Grippling. What do you think, Ashley? That'll be fun, right?
Hold on. I don't know the lyrics.
Well, the first one is, who's the girl in the pink capri?
It's Courtney, it's Courtney.
There you go, like that. Then there's, who's the girl who loves to ski?
It's Courtney.
And then there's who throws the best parties, and then finally, who's the girl we want to be? So, I mean, no, who's the girl we all agree? That's what it is. So, yeah, I guess we can start things off. So, which one you want to start off with, Ashley? You want to start with the first or the second lyric?
I'll do the second, sure.
Okay, so here we go.
All right.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Who's the girl in the pink capri?
It's Courtney, it's Courtney.
Who's the girl who loves to ski?
It's Courtney, it's Courtney.
Who throws the best parties?
It's Courtney, it's Courtney.
Who's the girl we all agree?
It's Courtney.
Yay, bravo.
Yay.
All right, that's great, fantastic. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions from Plinko-Matic, and this person says, Liz, if somebody told you that As Told by Ginger would still have a fan following nearly 2 decades later, would you have believed them?
No.
Wow.
No, but I'm so glad that there is a fan following, and and looking back, I see why there would be.
All right.
It's good.
Fantastic.
It's good too.
All right. Next. Okay. So the second question is, Liz, you voiced Maggie Simpson in the debut short of The Simpsons, Good Night on the Tracy Ullman Show. How did you get that role?
I'm trying. That was a long time ago. I think I just auditioned for it, and I don't even know. I don't really remember too much from it, but I think I cried or something, or Did Maggie have a voice? I can't. It was different then. I don't know. They were just trying it out. They were sort of trying out this what would later become, blah blah blah. But I'm trying to think.
That's okay.
Maggie Simpson. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I think I was just like, go to an audition, get the job, go do the thing, and see what happened, and that's what happened.
Okay, perfect. All right, we have our next question from Jason, and he says, "Hi, thank you so much for guesting on the podcast."
Thank you, Jason. Yes.
My question is, how did you create the voice of Courtney? What did you pull from your life, experiences, etc., to build the character's voice and attitude? How much of it was the script, and how much of it was your own say in voice acting?
Oh gosh, well, I think anytime you get a script, you try to do all kinds of different things with it to kind of get where you think you want to be going, and you just keep experimenting with it, and then you just do it and you see if it sticks, so it's sort of like I sort of came up with it a little bit gradually, and then I went in and did it, and I got some laughs and stuff, so I thought, well, that's good, so I'll keep doing that. I think that's how. I'm not really sure. I don't really know how that works exactly.
Okay. That's fine. Okay, we have another question. We have a question from DJ, and he says, "Squee! Oh my gosh, welcome, Miss Courtney Grippling, to the podcast. I must say that you are quite the spirit animal for many As Told by Ginger fans with your charming Courtneyisms. I have a question for you, Liz. I appreciate how Courtney is not your typical snobby girl archetype. She has a heart of gold and aspires to be like the homely Ginger. How much do you see Courtney as a role model?"
I think that's a great observation, because, like I said before, I at first I thought, well, what an awful child, and then I realized that she's I think Courtney is on a quest to find her humanity. I really do. That's what I think Courtney's big arc in life is going to be, and I think that like there's something that Ginger said to her. It was like it's more important to be nice than to be popular, and then Courtney goes, yeah, well, that's because you've never been popular, and I think that that's her life lesson that she's going to be learning. It is better to be nice than to be popular, and I think hopefully if the show were to go on and she would get through high school and the rest of it, I think that's where she would end up. Mm-hmm. So yes, I think that's a good observation.
Wonderful. And we have our last spoiler-free question, and going back into Hoodsie Bishop fan, and this person says, there have been rumors about a proposed episode where Courtney admits that she was in love with Ginger, but Nickelodeon would not allow it. Can you confirm if this is true or not? If it was true, what would have happened?
Wow, this is the first I've heard of it. Maybe it's true, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a rumor that's been around for at least a couple of years, but nobody knows if it's true or not.
I'm going to throw a follow-up there. In general, there were sort of talks about, at least in the beginning and various times, as to whether, and I guess you could probably speak to it because you're the one who voiced her, right? Whether her interest in Ginger was any kind of romantic, or if you think it was just interest for interest's sake.
I think that Courtney was drawn to Ginger through Ginger's, her authenticity. Sure. The fact that Ginger was Ginger wore her heart on her sleeve. She was always going through stuff, and Courtney was always covering up stuff. And just to see somebody who was actually being real was very attractive. The weird thing for me is I never did figure out, Blake and I are so rich. And like, what was I doing there? But I don't know why my parents put me there, but maybe they were, in the public school. I don't know why, but I'm glad they did, because otherwise they wouldn't have met such, such Gingers and Dodies and Macy's.
That is true.
Yeah, no show.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Ashley, we have a lot of spoiler questions. I'll let you know when we are ready to continue, okay?
Okay.
Okay, close your ears now.
Yep. Yeah, we have a lot of spoiler questions, so let's...
Oh, boy.
Yeah, this is... Okay, so let's start things off with a question from Norbert, and he asks, "Hi, Liz. Thank you for agreeing to be on the podcast. A lot of people believe that Ginger should become friends with Courtney and dump Dodie and Macy, especially after the events of the episode Wicked Game, where Dodie and Macy conspire to break her and Darren up. Do you agree?"
Oh, absolutely not. No, of course not. I mean, that's the thing that I think girls, when they're growing up, they do kind of end up learning, and usually it's the hard way, about a romance coming in between friendships. And I think that's what that was about. And although we all love Darren, and it just made sense. Of course they're going to get jealous about it, and of course they probably shouldn't have tried to break them up like they did, but I don't know. Of course she has to forgive them and go on. And I think it was an episode where, Courtney's like a really good friend in a way, because she's the one who's going to tell Ginger the truth.
Yes.
She tries to.
Yes, she did. She was the one who let Darren and Ginger know that Dodie and Macy were working with Miranda and Mipsy to break them up.
Yes, that's right. I just think it's a really it's a very common occurrence where and it happens the other way too. It's not, obviously it happens with guys too. Their friends get jealous of, girls who take over their time and everything, and all of a sudden they don't feel as close to their best buddies. I think it's just a very common occurrence, and anyway, that's all.
Okay, the next question was, at the end of the series, now we can say the spoiler thing. So, the Gripplings go broke. How do you think this affected Courtney, and what do you think her life would be like now?
Oh, gosh, Courtney. Well, all I can hope is that Courtney got better grades than I think she did, and that she was able somehow to get herself into college. After high school. I don't know what, it's such an unfair thing that happens. Yeah, it's such an unfair thing that the rug is pulled out from under her. So where would she be now? Oh, I don't know. She'd be like, I don't know. I hope she could, I'm just saying, I hope she could like go to school and like become a nurse or something. She could do something useful with her life. That's what I hope for her.
Yeah, I think that with, there was an episode called Mommy Nearest, in which Lois and Courtney got really close together. Uh-huh. So maybe Lois became kind of a role model for Courtney that made her eventually want to go into nursing.
I love that. What a great idea.
Jackie's idea for Macy was that she thought that maybe Macy would be a lesbian, and that she would travel between France and Canada, and she would actually be dating Courtney.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty unique one. It's like, hey, Macy's in band, Courtney can be the cheerleader, so maybe they can like hook up.
Jackie didn't tell me about that, but that's a good one. Yeah, that's interesting.
It is very interesting. Yeah, so going into Hoodsy Bishop Fan again and his spoiler question. Is there any particular reason why Courtney doesn't appear that much in season 3, and why her social life was an all-time low in high school, even before the Gripplings had lost their fortune? Why do you think, as told by Ginger, the writers decided to do all that to poor Courtney as the series was rushing to a close?
I'm not really certain, other than it did seem that the show is focusing a bit more on, Ginger and her other relationships.
Sure.
And also, I think there is something about high school where, nobody really cares anymore about you and your little clique. They don't really care. If you're, that's kind of the way the high school works here. The middle schools are very, very cliquey, and once you get into high school, people don't really care. You have to sort of be your own person. And maybe it was about focusing more on Ginger and more about her becoming who she was going to become, and maybe people like Courtney just sort of became, more on the sidelines.
Okay, that's wonderful. So that's it for the spoiler questions. Let me just add Ashley back.
Hi, Ashley.
Hello again.
Okay, we're done with the spoiler questions. So we're just going to ask 2 more and then we're done. So, going back into Norbert again, he asks, let's see, with the advent of Nickelodeon doing revivals on their classic shows, with the upcoming TV movies of Hey Arnold, Rocko's Modern Life, and Invader Zim, if there ever was an As Told by Ginger reunion or revival in some way, would you be down to voice Courtney again?
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
All
no
right.
question.
Wonderful. Now my last question, and I always ask this to everybody. So what do you think of the legacy of As Told by Ginger as a whole?
What do I think of the legacy of As Told by Ginger as a whole?
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of it, I guess, looking back. I'm proud of it. I think it still holds up. And I can see why kids would be interested in seeing it. And I'm so happy that I was a part of it. We had a great time. We really did.
Yeah. And the thing that really made me happy was when Jackie and Paul came to our podcast discussing about one of the episodes. They were talking about how Jackie and Paul did a show and Melissa was there and that you guys had a little impromptu As Told by Ginger reunion.
Oh, it was great. It was great. It was just, Paul and Jackie did a great show, first of all. They're funny as poop. They really are so funny. And Melissa was there, and it was great to see Melissa again. I hadn't seen her in quite a while. I think they live near each other, so I think they've run into each other a lot more than I have. But,
okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
So that's it. So Liz, thank you so much for coming into the podcast. We really do appreciate it.
Pleasure. And thank you so much for having the podcast and for being fans and stuff and encouraging fans.
Absolutely. Great. And special shout out to Jackie, who actually helped us get a hold of you. So thank you, Jackie.
Thanks, Jackie.
All right. So, let us know if you have any upcoming projects coming up.
I don't at the moment.
Okay. Well, just let us know if anything. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed our interview with Liz. We got plenty of other guests coming in the future, so stay tuned for that. Hope to see you around soon, and take care.